What's going on, boys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got more work on this thing right here. Not actually work, more so just maintenance and a check over. Every year I like to do a quick bolt check and a quick fluid check, which we haven't done yet on this car, even though it's already been out once or twice. So yeah, today we got a nice little maintenance check over on the built EG hatch, and I got a goodie or two for our 91 Accord. Finally, our windshield wipers are going to be working again. If you remember, like a couple videos ago, I believe I showed you guys, we were trying to figure out the windshield wiper system and why they weren't squirting. Well, it's the nozzle. So I bought some just generic ones on Amazon. I hope they fit. They should. If not, we'll make them fit, and then we'll have windshield wiper squirters again, because right now I have a Zepp squirter bottle filled up with windshield wiper cleaner. I stick my arm out the window, spray it, and then turn on the windshield wipers. It's super ghetto, but it kind of fits the ghetto-ness of the car. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get some maintenance done on the hatch. First things first, I'm going to go ahead and jack up the front, take off the front wheel, check the brake pad life, make sure the camber kit adjustment up top is loose. Then we're going to move to the back, try and pull the drum hat just to see. I'd like to get this thing on discs anyways, sooner or later, and then check the rear lower control arms that we put in that we're going to have to take out soon to put the proper black ones in. Then we're going to pop the hood, check the fluid levels in there, and then everything should be complete. If something's low or whatever, we'll do an oil change on it, whatever we need to do. Same thing with anything that's loose that we find here. Hopefully nothing, but it's always good to check. Just quickly check our brake lines, our brake fluid as well, and just make sure this car is in good shape to take out once and for all this year. These wheels hit so hard still. I love these things. And they're so light. A lot of tread left on the Neogens. Doesn't look like it's wearing unevenly, which is good because we just got this thing in alignment. So I'd say these wheels and tires are good to go for this season. Now, as you guys may or may not know, we did all new tie rods in this thing last year, and they're still completely solid, no play in them whatsoever. So the tie rods are good. And then we also put a K-Tune Pro Series camber kit in it that I'm gonna have to go ahead and quickly check the bolts, make sure all those are still tight, crown nut still tight, and just make sure everything is good. We also got our coilovers in there, and it looks like we ran over some nasty dirt and mud because everything is just gray and shit looking. We're gonna have to get this thing a nice pressure wash sooner or later, but so far everything's looking good. The brake pads have remarkably a ton of life left. This thing has done some pretty hard braking. There's no hard grooves in the rotors. So I think we're going to run these brakes out for the rest of this year, and then next year we'll get some new rotors and some new pads. But for right now, these are just AC Delco pads as well, and they have been holding up to the life of the car fairly well. Brakes are hitting evenly. I love that. Now let's go ahead and check the camber kit. So how this K-Tune kit works is there's 3 Allen key bolts that run down here and run down here. So I'm just going to take the Allen key, make sure they're all tight. That's what slides this ball joint forward and backward to give it more or less camber. And this crown nut is fully tight, so I'm going to go ahead and check that and then come back and let you guys know. So this whole front axle is good. Brake rotors are good. Pads are good. Brake line is good. No kinks in it. Nothing's wet. We got to check the brake fluid when we check the fluids later. Inner and outer tie rods are solid. There was a couple loose Allen keys towards the inside of this camber kit, but everything else is tight on this whole front axle. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the wheel back on, and then we're going to move to the rears and check the drum hats, drum shoes, e-brake shoes, lower control arms, the whole 9. Don't worry, this is a baby impact. It can only do like half the foot-pounds required to torque these things down. Don't get your pants in a bun. Now that we've confirmed this front axle is good, always torque your wheels, never forget. I'm gonna go ahead and do these guys to about 105 foot-pounds, torque them up, and then we're gonna move on to the rears. Perfect. It's time to move on to the back. First things first, gonna go ahead and break these wheel nuts loose, and then I'm gonna go ahead and jack it up from the rear toe point so the whole rear can jack up. We're gonna check those lower control arms, check the drums, and see what we come up with. Ooh, Ooh. Yeah, there's that camber kit, which I did mark. None of the bolts appear to have come loose whatsoever, and that is exactly why you mark your bolts. I'm telling you guys. Taking a look at the tread on this one. Perfect. A little bit more inside edge wear, but that's because the camber we're running. Once again, nice little wheel check. These things go so hard. Taking a look in the rear here. As we can see, if we just do a nice little zoom in there, our paint marks on the bolts line up with the paint marks on the chassis. That's why I always mark everything to make sure it's all good. Same with this one here. So our upper control arm K-Tune camber kit is indeed good. The bushings we put in last year, the True Heart solid bushings, are also good. And the coil's also good as well. Everything's tight, nothing's loose. I see no leaks back here whatsoever. Just gonna go ahead and make sure all the bolts on the lower control arm are nice and tight, because I actually didn't paint mark those. See, I caught myself slipping. We gotta take off the e-brakes so then we can pull these drum hats off and take a peek behind there. Okay, so, wow, these drums are in a lot better condition underneath than I would have expected. The ring doesn't have any hard grooves. There's still quite a bit of pad life left on these drums, which is genuinely surprising. The wheel bearing is also still solid. I changed all wheel bearings like a year ago, so as we can see here, a lot of pad life left on the shoes. Everything spins freely, wheel bearings are solid, and the inside ring of the hat isn't too badly grooved and doesn't catch on my fingernail much at all. So with that being said, the drum hat can go right back on. E-brake can be re-pulled, and then we're going to go ahead and check to make sure the lower control arm bolts are nice and tight. See what size these are. I'm going to go ahead and say 13. Oh my god, it's like I know what I'm doing down here. Tight. Tight. Also tight. Great. Quickly go ahead and check the other side since it's up in the air. And everything in the rear end looks just as minty as the front end. Can't complain with that. Time to go up front and check some fluids. Oh, I gotta put the wheel back on, I guess, eh? Shit, that would have been dumb as hell. Fucking NASCAR pit crew out here. Now that the rear axle and the front axle bolt checked came out good, we're gonna go ahead and open the hood, move to the front, check all the fluids, and if that checks out, we're good to go. We can move on to the little goodie we got on the daily Accord. And there you have it. The beautiful B16 A3 engine bay. Every time I pop this hood, I just love it, man. Straight up, I can't get enough of it. Let's go ahead and check the fluids. Go ahead and check the brake fluid, the clutch fluid, because the hydraulic clutch, obviously. Go ahead and make sure the coolant's good, check the oil, and with that, all that being done, car should be good to go for another season of pure limiter. Okay, boys, let's go ahead and take a quick peek at all these fluids here. First off with the clutch. Oh, nice and clear, and hasn't gone down even a little bit from last year. That fluid is actually crystal clear. I'm happy with that. Hasn't gone down at all. Let's check this brake fluid. It's probably going to be dark. It is most definitely dark, but I don't see any particulates in it, and it's still very much so filled up. It's not too, hasn't lost a lot of lubricity either, or viscosity. It still seems quite thick, as it should be. Hydraulic clutch fluid, good. Brake fluid, good. Let's check the coolant, and then last but not least, the engine oil. Pretty quick and easy to check all fluids. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's gonna be hard for you guys to see, but there's definitely fluid in there, and it's just above the minimum mark. You can kind of see it if I shake it. We could probably fill it up, but I only have concentrate here right now. I don't want to fill up the overflow with just concentrate, and it's never overheated on our drives this year, so we're gonna call that good. Last but not least, make sure the oil is good, and then I think it's safe to say that this thing's good for another year of pure ripping. I probably should do plugs and an oil change just cuz, but I don't have many miles on it right now. perfect amount of oil on that. And it's nice and golden brown too. Fluid is still golden brown. And boys, if you guys want to see this happen live, don't sleep on the TikTok channel. It's Brash Garage on TikTok. Because as you can see, sometimes we come to the shop and we are live. We are live, baby. So if you guys want to see any of this happen live, go follow the TikTok at Brash Garage. It's going to be in the link tree in the bio anyways. And with all that being said, the Civic is officially good for another year of shredding. Everything is tight. Nothing's leaking. All the fluids are topped up. Brake fluid's a little darkish, but I'm going to go ahead and sooner or later do a rear disc swap anyway. So when that happens, we're going to flush the whole system and start fresh. Make sure there's no rotted lines underneath the car. But other than that, the EG hatch is good for another season of ripping. So like, comment, subscribe, because we're going to do some POV driving with this thing this year. It's going to be kind of rowdy. I'd love to get a 360 cam, stick it on the back of the car so it can see the whole car as we're flying down some back roads. And we might even get this thing to the track. Probably not drag racing because it's going to get gapped by everything. It makes probably a solid 150 to the wheels. It's just a B16. But maybe some autocross, short course racing. But for now, to wrap up this video, I got a little goodie for the Accord, and that just so happens to be windshield wiper squirters. If you guys watched like 10 videos ago, you would know that we discovered that our windshield wiper squirters stopped working. So I went on Amazon and got some generic ones, and let's see if they work. You guys won't believe what we've been doing to clean the windshield. I'll show you. So without our little nozzles working, this is how we've been going about cleaning the windshield. Do you want to do a nice action shot for me?
I think I might have to.
I kid you not. That is windshield wiper fluid in a Zep spray bottle, and that is quite literally how we clean the windshield. So needless to say, I'm really hoping that my $5 Amazon purchase fixes this, because that is the most ghetto thing I think I've ever done. Push these out. Just super simple affair. Essentially, it's this one clip and this other clip. You clip them together, slide them in, and then you clip them out and you slide it out. This one's nozzle broke off, and that one over there is still connected. So with this one done, and this one also done. And it's kind of, it's funny because this one's paint matched. These ones are just black, but oh well. The main thing about it is that it had to be a right angle coming off of it, which these ones are, even though they're just generic ones. So, oh dang, those fit real nice.
Clean installation.
Okay. Oh shoot, I forgot that the plastic tip is stuck in here. I'm probably gonna have to cut it off a little bit or try and get that out. Some of them are different, but they'll still work. As you guys can see, these tabs come down and out, whereas these tabs start down and then come up and out. This actually makes for a way easier installation, because when you put these ones in, you have to hold them together and then drop them in. Whereas these ones, if you come with me, you slide it in and there's no squeezing anything. Once it's kind of, whoops, it's backwards. Once it's kind of in place, there's no squeezing, you just, easy as that. Whereas if you do these ones, you got to try and drop it in and then squeeze these shut while trying to get it in. So those are actually a lot nicer to go in. I hope they work though. Unless we can somehow crush it and let it fall out. Right?
Yeah, that might work.
Yes.
Nice.
We oh no, well that's only half of it.
Yeah, a little bit more in there.
No. We emerge victorious, baby. Slide that on. Okay. Is our windshield wipers gonna work now?
Let's find out. Oh.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Damn it. Is the bottle empty?
Maybe, honestly. Trying her again.
Ready?
Ready. Oh, oh, that's a powerful boy.
The other one doesn't work.
It like, yeah, it squirts a little bit.
Hit it. Okay, stop. What the hell? Did we seriously get a bunk ass thing again? No way, dude. We got a bunk squirter. Really? Here, stew it. No way, one of our 2 squirters is bunk. That's what you get for spending $5 on freaking Amazon. Well boys, $5 on Amazon, 50% well spent. I can't believe we replaced 2 faulty windshield wiper squirters, ordered new ones, and only one of the 2 works. What are the freaking odds? But this car has been bolt checked and fluid checked, checks out, and is ready to rip for another season. The Accord, every time I try to do something nice to her, she just doesn't fucking take it. So until next time boys, comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.